this box of stuff. I am leaving here at Hostel Around the Bend, and they will bounce it to Outdoor 76. So it's a full box of stuff that I can take out of my pack for the next few days.
At 10, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So today is kind of a big day for two reasons. I just left Around the Bend Hostel, and that was their dogs, Chloe and Mocha, that were in the car to drop me off. But today is big because I will be crossing my first state line. I'll be crossing my first state line from Georgia into North Carolina, saying goodbye to Georgia. And also, it is my first day with my trail name. A couple noticed that I kept sitting on rocks and putting my face to the sun like this throughout the mornings. And so my name is Lizard. I call that my lizard time, sitting on a rock warming up with my face in the sun. So I think I'm gonna go with it between the green, and I can tell people it's because I'm slimy. I'm gonna be Lizard. I got a late start today because I was just enjoying the fire at Around the Bend Hostel. So I didn't really get on trail until almost 10 a.m., which is fine. I'm only doing like 12 miles today. So I'll still be at my campsite plenty early to have dinner and set up and everything before sunset. So I'm just taking today slow. It's pretty amazing, like how sore you can be your first mile. Pretty sore today. And then, you know, a mile or two in, your body just kind of warms up and says, okay, we're still doing this. You know, it's hard. I bet you're thinking, I'm gonna say the AT is hard, or backpacking uphill with a quarter of your body weight is hard. But picking your wedgie with a backpack on, that is hard. To be fair, those other things aren't easy. But today, I'm wearing shorts. And I keep getting a wedgie. When I used to hike, I didn't really take breaks during the day. Like, I would just snack all day and just keep on walking, snack and walk. And with doing, you know, so much shorter days, around 12, 13, I'm realizing I'd rather stop in the middle of the day and have a break like this. View behind me, view in front of me in the sun, than get to camp 30 minutes faster and just sit in my tent or sit in the shelter 30 more minutes. And like, yeah, I like hanging out in the shelters and talking to the other people there, but I don't want to forget to stop and just look where I am. I did my laundry last night at the hostel, and I can smell the laundry detergent on myself today. Nicer than what I was smelling yesterday, but it's funny just like how strong it smells. It is a sunny day, but if you're wondering how cold it's been on the AT, there's this puddle, and it's like frozen. I mean, it's probably 2 or 3 inches of ice. I am crossing from Georgia to North Carolina. One state done. My nugget of wisdom for the day is even if you think you can see the summit, you're not at the top till you're going downhill. And even then, you might not be at the top. But look at this rhododendron tunnel, which is making me think I'm gonna go to the top. This is that first climb in when you cross over into North Carolina. And I remember the first time I did this, I told my hiking partner, North Carolina didn't come to play. And it's true. All this ice still on the trail from the last 2 days. I'm not sure which elevation I'm at, but it's pretty up there for, well, I mean, I just came out of Georgia, so not quite Smokies elevation, but up there. Definitely just tripped. I am about a quarter mile from the shelter, and I'm just reaching the top of this crest, and there should be a view here in like just a minute, which almost makes these last few climbs worth it. I think that's it, but I don't want to jinx it, so pretend I didn't just say that. And there's the view. It's super bright because the sun's right there, but can you see those lakes poking through the trees that look like silver? There's 3 of them that I can see, and one over there too that isn't reflecting back the same way, but look at those. So cool. This is my first ramen on trail so far. So this is chicken ramen. I'm gonna add chicken and peanut butter and hot sauce. Oh, and I have lime stuff too, like crystallized lime. So first thing I do is crunch up the noodles enough so that it fits in my little koozie, like this. And then when the water's boiling, I'll put it in this, put the water in the bag, and then top it with the lid, and it cooks super fast. This is so good. I'm at Muskrat Creek Shelter, and it's like mid-40s, I think. There's a couple tents around, but no one is chatting or hanging out, so I'm just having dinner by myself. This is extremely good. I'm surprised. I mean, I've heard other people put peanut butter in their ramen and stuff, and I put hot sauce in it, but this specific combination is extremely good.
Is so swollen.
I'm still in my first mile of the day, and it got below freezing last night. All my important stuff was in my sleeping bag with me, And if you're not familiar with backpacking, when it gets below freezing, you have to keep your electronics and your water filter above freezing, or as warm as you can keep it. So when it gets that cold at night, you have to have those things inside your sleeping bag with you. So I just put them in my coat pockets and then either wear my coat or put it around my hips in my sleeping bag. I think my face is swollen because I haven't been drinking enough water. I knew that. And then last night I had that ramen for dinner, and it was actually 2 ramens. So that's a lot of sodium. So I'm gonna focus today on drinking a lot of water, and hopefully my face will not look like this when I wake up tomorrow. Overall check-in, my body is sore, but okay. It gets better as I kind of warm up within my first mile or so. So I've still got some tenderness in my right arch, but those insoles are definitely helping. I got some tenderness in my left kneecap. I think from, overusing it to protect my right one, which is the one I broke last year. So I'm just being mindful of that and like using my quads on the downhills and not just, jolting my joints. Other than that, I feel pretty good. I haven't had a headache, knock on wood. My hips feel good, my back feels good, my neck feels good, my shoulders feel good. So just some little, definitely just like aches for now, not injuries. So hoping to keep it that way. Got this really pretty rhododendron turtle I've been walking through since leaving the shelter. It is interesting though, like, I don't know if it's just the kind of bubble that I'm in, or if culture has changed, or if maybe it's just, been cold and nobody feels like it, but the trail just feels less social than I feel like it has in the past. Like last night, I ate dinner at the fire pit at the shelter alone, no fire. There are like 8 tents around, but nobody's hanging out. I mean, it was cold, I'll give them that, but it's fine for now. I'd like to make friends, but just chugging along. Look at the squirrel. Good morning, buddy. So I left home 10 days ago, and I realized this is the longest I've ever gone without seeing my dogs. That made me cry. I never want to take a view like this for granted. I just did a small climb, first of the morning. Oh, there's a little critter over here somewhere. I heard the weirdest sound last night. I have no idea what animal it was, but next time I have like good service or Wi-Fi, I'm gonna research it. Of course my mind says that it's a bear, but I don't know, it sounded like a mammal, almost like a dog, but not quite, and it was like kind of like a yelp, but not like an in pain yelp, just like a sound. I don't know. I'll report back, maybe, if I remember. Sometimes the trail doesn't look quite like a trail. I'll show you what I mean. Like here, the trail goes forward, then you notice it just sort of drops off. Can't really see how steep that is. Like, that's straight down probably 15 feet. Like that rock right there is the bottom, and it's pretty steep. Couldn't record because I needed both hands coming down, but I'll show it to you from the other side. all the way up there. Just a little rock face. One of the trail angels, Smokey Bear, he had a lot of wisdom, but one thing he said was, if you don't have any expectations, you won't have any disappointments. And I think I like that. Just got an egg, cheese, and hot dog sandwich from this super cool van. Oh, and a Gatorade. And now I'm going north. So when people do stuff like that, that is called trail magic. And it is done, we call those people trail angels who do it. And let me tell you, nothing will boost your spirits like a warm, unexpected meal in the middle of your day. So, got bad weather tomorrow coming in. I might go a little further today. That way it shortens my day tomorrow. What's nice is with freezing rain tomorrow, I know that I'm going into town tomorrow night. So it's always a little easier, like being wet and miserable when you know that you're gonna dry out that night and not have to like have wet days or wet clothes for multiple days. So we'll see how far I get today. This mountain had nice, easy switchbacks up. So I'm hoping for the same thing on the way down. So far, it looks like it. This is a very nice section of trail. It doesn't help, it doesn't hurt that my belly is full of trail magic. You know, the last few days have been hard. They really have. And I keep hearing about different people getting off trail. And I mean, people who have even done the entire AT. One man had like 7,000 trail miles and he got off. And you know, you don't really hear why because you don't hear it directly from them, but I don't know. It's like, in one regard, it's kind of validating because this has not been easy. On the other, it's kind of heartbreaking. We've had not bad weather, but cold weather. And yeah, there's just not the camaraderie I feel like there has been in the past. So I'm hoping that's just a phase. And once the weather changes, people's attitudes and the culture will too. Normally blowdowns are fine, but this one's like too high to step over and too low. I'm gonna top out. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, crap. Oh, that hurt. Okay. Each section of the trail is maintained by a local trail club. So yesterday when I stepped over the state line in North Carolina, now the trail is like planned and maintained by the Nantahala Trail Club. So different group of people, and the trail like totally changes as soon as you cross the state line. The trail itself is like a little bit more rugged. There's more blowdowns, more water crossings, more rocks and roots and mud. But also the shelters no longer have bear boxes or bear cables until you get to Smoky Mountain National Park. I think this is the section, and please let me know if you know for sure. that recently had fires, like within the last 10 years, because there's just so many blowdowns. Like I just climbed over that one, I'm about to climb over this one, and then there's even more all the way through. And it's just been in the last, like, I think I've done like 10 miles since lunch. There's just been so many I've climbed over and under. It's like a good stretch. I probably should have gone under this one, because now I'm sitting here and I've got quite a ways down, and sitting here feels too good. But got miles to get done. I just passed the shelter that I plan to stay in tonight, and that is because tomorrow's weather just keeps looking worse and worse and worse. It was gonna be like misty, and then it was gonna be rainy, it was gonna be freezing rain, and it was gonna be like a freezing thunderstorm. So any miles, these stinking blowovers, any miles that I get done today are miles that I don't have to do. Can I do it? I am literally on the ground. Okay, you're safe. I'm stuck on something. Oh, okay. Went under that one. Let's go over this one. Oh, that was graceful, huh? Yeah, so any miles that I do today, right now, I don't have to do in a freezing thunderstorm tomorrow.
Okay. You through hiking?
That's the goal.
Sweet. Where are you from?
Indiana, what about you?
Northern California. Oh, that's the shit. Oh, yes.
Yeah. If you want to know how steep the trail can be, that little speck is the fire tower, and that's only a quarter mile away. I'm looking like straight up at it. See you from there. I lied. I had to show you how steep this is. So there's a blaze on that rock, blaze on that rock, and it just goes up. Whew. Don't forget I've got about a quarter of my body weight on my back. Whew. That is the trail. By the way, there's a blaze right there, right up those rocks. Yes, that boulder is the trail. There she is. I'm walking under the fire tower, and part of why I decided to pull this long day was to get here to the summit of Albert Mountain, because I couldn't stand the thought of not having this view. It's a little cloudy because it's almost sunset, but I made it here. This is the first fire tower that I've come to on the AT, and yeah, somebody used to live in it to protect this big watershed underneath me from fire. But it's closed now. Just a lookout. The top is locked and I'm pooped. But if you're familiar with Albert Mountain Fire Tower, then you also know this marks 100 miles finished on my 7th day. Well, that fun's over. I'm gonna hike 2 more miles so I can be in a shelter, since it is supposed to rain tonight. I don't know that it'll stay in the shelter. It'll be dark by the time I get there. But that way at least I'm there. Downhill I go. I wish the camera could pick the sunset up in its glory, but it isn't, and I still got miles to go. I just rolled my ankle, and my solution so that I didn't fall was just to sit down on this step. And I gotta get going because the sun is setting, but hey, at least all that happened was I sat down. I think God is telling me it's time for my day to be over so soon. That's the official 100 for 2023. I did my first 20 plus mile yesterday. Got into Long Branch Shelter about an hour after the sunset. But luckily everyone was super nice. They were still awake. So I just stayed in the shelter last night. Didn't put up my tent. I did take one spill while night hiking. I was just trying to go too fast, I think. But today I am going just a few more miles into Franklin, where I'm staying at Chica and Sunset's Hostel, which I'm super pumped about. I stayed at amazing hostels so far. Misty Mountain Inn and Around the Bend. And Chica and Sunsets is another one of those ones you just hear so much good stuff about. So going uphill, just got a short day today here in the rain. Today is not fun. It is cold and pouring and windy. I don't know how much I'll check in just because of how much it's raining, but one of those days. Everything is soaking wet, soaking wet, soaking wet. Everything is so muddy. That was such a good shower. I'm so much warmer, and I'm in loaner clothes. So loaner clothes are like when you get to a hostel or somewhere that does hiker laundry, they might have something called loaner clothes, which are clothes that you can wear while clean clothes that you can wear while you do all your laundry, because hikers only really have like 2 outfits, pajamas and rain gear. You don't have a ton of clothes, and once you shower you don't want to put on your dirty clothes, so you can put on loaner clothes while you do your laundry. And so I picked out, I think, the warmest loaner clothes Chica and Sunset's Hostel has, and as soon as my laundry's done I'll put my normal clothes back on and then maybe go to town.
Isn't it a beautiful thing? I hate that. Oh, I can't stand it.
I am getting new shoes at Outdoor 76. I'm in downtown Franklin, North Carolina, and I'm taking my first 0 here, which means I'm hiking 0 miles today. Just having a rest day. I just left Outdoor 76 and I got new shoes and new insoles. It's been kind of a journey with my feet. I think this is my 4th backpacking shoe setup. That I'm really hopeful in this one. And it's funny because it's a shoe I almost bought with a insole that I have at home. But I think this combination is gonna be it. It already feels so much better. I've kind of been complaining about that right arch hurting And so the folks at Outdoor 76, they have a location in Clayton, Georgia, and here in Franklin, North Carolina, and they like held out, made it here because I knew that they would get me fixed up. So they had me in some Brooks Cascadia trail runners in a size 9.5, which I wear a 7.5, 8 in everyday life, but my feet are just so swollen, and the weight of the backpack spreads them out too. So size 9.5 shoe with a red sole insert inside of it for some extra stability and arch kind of lift. So I think that's going to be exactly what I need. They already feel better. And I rounded the corner. It's a Saturday afternoon here downtown, so there's some people walking around and it's cool but sunny. So I just got a root beer and a cookie. And I'm gonna enjoy those sitting on this deck before I go resupply. I wanted a little snack before I go to the grocery store. So yeah, just enjoying this nice day. I am gonna walk to the grocery store, and that's about the furthest I'm gonna walk today. And then Chica and Sunsets have an amazing hostel that I spent last night and tonight in. And there have been other hikers come and go through that. This is my first grocery store resupply. I'm not getting much, but mostly just some snacks for during the days, and then I needed one more dinner. It's only $4, so I'm gonna try that one. I'll let you know how it is. Whenever my parents brought us down to visit our grandparents here in like the Appalachian Mountain area, this is how we'd always know we were close to our grandparents. Peach knee-high soda. If I could pack out 2 liters of this, I would.
When it's on heads, is good luck.
They're getting to it's up to you get to.
I am in bed for my final night of 2 nights at Chica and Sunsets Hostel here in Franklin, North Carolina. And today was so good, so needed and appreciated. I did a 0, which again means I hiked 0 miles today. It was my first rest day since starting. And it was just really restorative, and I went to Outdoor 76 and I got my new shoes, my Brooks Cascadias with red sole brand inserts in them. Super hopeful that those are going to help with that foot pain I've been having. And then the meal that I just shared a video of, one of the other hikers, T-Bone, is a professional chef, and so he cooked the 4 of us staying here in the hostel and the owners, Chica and Sunsets, that amazing steak dinner with kale and bacon and potatoes. So I got some meat and veggies in my body, iced my ankles, got a root beer, really just relaxed today and put my feet up, resupplied, a very small resupply at Ingles. I've just been carrying more food than I need, and I've not been eating as much as I thought I would, so I only really needed some snacks. I got some meat sticks and that dinner because it was a good price. Back to the trail tomorrow, but you can probably tell my face is finally not puffy again. I think that's a mix of drinking a ton of water today, resting, and then I did take a Benadryl. So I think maybe it was a mix of water retention mixed with maybe I'm allergic to something. I've got like that wet rash on my hands and some weird like spots on my legs that maybe I'm allergic to something. But I have no idea what it was or what it could be. So if it comes back, I'm packing out more Benadryl. So I'm going to bed, and I'll check in the next time I shower.